Hello and welcome to my review of the Orks Kill Rig for Warhammer 40,000 from Games Workshop. One of these kits will cost you a whopping £78.50, making it the most expensive single miniature that is available for Orks. The most expensive product is the Combat Patrol, and that's £85. It's a multi-part dual kit. So what I mean by that is not only can you make two options with the same kit, either the Hunter rig or the Kill rig, which is what mine is in right now, you can also swap between them on the fly, which is fantastic. That feature alone makes the price a little bit easier to accept. But let's not beat around the bush here, guys. It's very expensive. Not much change from £100. It makes the Stomper look like an even more incredible value kit. Now, the instructions are great. There's lots of detail on there. There's a colossal trampler squig, and that's what it's called. It's called a trampler squig. And it's going to be very, very fun to paint. And it's possible to paint if you build it in sub-assemblies, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. This multi-part plastic kit is comprised of 111 pieces and comes with a 170mm oval base. That is the same size base as an Imperial Knight. So that gives you some kind of idea. I'll be doing quite a few size comparisons a bit later on in the review, but the format, as always, is for me to have a look at the detail, so we'll do that right now. So here's the model. As you can see, I haven't glued him onto the base. Normally I do glue models to their bases, but in this case it's going to be an absolute pain to glue him and to paint the trampler squig as well as the underside of the kill rig. So what I will do is just remove him, which isn't too difficult. I wonder if they're going to do this with other models. But what I will say is this is the colossal trampler squig. There are areas here which I still need to go in with some green stuff and file it down. I don't think I've filed it down at all. I've just put a bit of Tamiya on the underside. But again, there's a bit there, look, a join there that I'm going to have to clean up. So this isn't 100%. But that's the trampler squig. I like how you've got these attachments that fix onto the rig itself. That means that if, I don't know, Forge World bring out some resin kind of contraption that it can pull, you could probably just detach it and put it on there, which is great. Also, it means you can have this just on a base. I don't know what for or what doing, but it's possible, you know, but there you go. Also, these orcs here, the Snagger boys, I've not glued them on because they're going to be way easier to paint them individually and then glue them on later, or not. You can magnetize them. What I'll probably do is have one of the kill rigs with them on and the other one with them not on. I've yet to decide which I'll go for. Both the kill rig and the Hunter rig are armed with the two weapons, which is the sticker cannon, which I believe is this one right here, because it's on a chain and it sticks, and that's quite a decent little weapon, but it is very short range. Luckily this kill rig has a 12-inch movement speed, and also the heavy lobber, which is a colossal range weapon, like 48-inch range, and it's blast, and you don't need to see anything for it to hit the target, which is brilliant. One of the main reasons to get this is that heavy lobber. So it's a great weapon. That's not all though. You also have a whir tower. This tower that can be detached, and it has one of the new HQ units in it. We've had a Weird Boy. This is the Beast Snagger version called the Whir Boy. He looked fantastic in the previews and things, but then when you build him, he does lean back a little bit more than than I'd want him to. So you might have to, you could modify him a little bit to lean a bit more forward. Yeah, this is the Psychic Orc that the set comes with, and they do give you an extra base. They want you to put him on his base separate if you build the hunter rig. But what I've done is I've put him on his base anyway, and the whir tower is so cool that you can actually just like fit him on. Bearing in mind, if you're using it as a kill rig, he's not going to be able to pop off or disembark or anything like that. So when the time comes, I might just take him off there and glue the one from the other set in here. But as you can see, with all of these being detached, you've got the best of both worlds, of all worlds really. Not only do you get 2 units, you're essentially getting 3 units in this set. You know, you're getting the whir boy, which is a separate HQ choice, you're getting the kill rig and the hunter rig. And as I say, these are all detachable. So you can have the stick cannon there, with the heavy lobber there, and then the whir tower there. If you want, you can go for the kill rig, which I believe has these in that formation, but personally I'd probably put it like that. You know, I guess that's quite heavy on the back, but you know, this is a 12-inch weapon. Do you still go from the base of vehicles or from the weapon? I think you go from the weapon, don't you? But either way, you can swap these out and it's a nice snug fit. There's not any need for you to magnetize. I mean, you can if you want, but because that's one of the things I was a bit wary about when hot swapping these, that they'd, you know, fall back and fall out, but they don't. They fit in there quite snugly. The final thing that I did, which I would suggest you kind of don't do, is build this orc completely in there. That's going to be an absolute pain for me to paint and to get any detail in and things like that. So if you can, I'd probably resist doing that and probably leave the wheel and him you know, loose for the time being. But plenty of detail on this kit. You've got these buzzsaw blades, you've got the sharp piece of metal around the rims of the tyres, you've got orky horns and teeth everywhere, you've got a little Gretchen in this pipe work, you've got these which sort of look like they're the wrong way but they're the right way, with like a snake bite like skull. You've got this little rope ladder on there, and yeah, when it's all sort of put together, there's quite a lot to it. You know, you've got these snagger boys on there. This one even has a metal mohawk with a ripsaw in him, so maybe maybe that's surgery, or maybe that was an accident that happened. I don't know, but that's quite cool. And he's got the power snapper thing, and he's got the power snapper weapon, which is quite cool. So yeah, there you go. That is the kill rig. There are no spare parts, which is quite odd, but it's also great because you've used those 2 big sprues and that half sprue to its fullest effect. So let's get on to the size comparisons. So the first size comparison on my list is the Squig buggy. Right here, there's a fast attack choice, and as you can see, it's absolutely dwarfed by this big kill rig. You know, you have a few of these buggies around it. This is still going to be quite the presence on the battlefield, mainly because its verticality. And that's the one thing I've seen with this Ork update and reinforcement range, is there's been a big increase in the verticality of the models. Everything from the boss bunker to this kill rig to even the war boss in mega armor. Speaking of the boss bunker, we might as well just put that into the shot as well. Boss bunker is definitely one of the largest models they do. It's actually larger than the Gorkanaut and Morkanaut, but of course it's not as large as a Stomper. So we'll just put that in the background as being one of the biggest, compared to a Morkanaut right here. Hopefully you can see that, see the size, and yeah, so the Gorkanaut will probably be a little bit smaller. They're similar size, but I'd say the Morkanaut just beats it with that force field. they're on the same size base, which is the night base. £3.50 more will net you the Kill Rig, so it's more expensive than both the Stomper and one of these Gorkanauts, but I think it holds up size wise compared to, well, at least the Gorkanauts, but that's because the Gorkanauts are now definitely overpriced in my opinion. I keep thinking there's meant to be something that goes in that hole there, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's where it stands with a Morkanaut, which you can make, you know, either a Morkanaut or Gorkanaut, but you can't dual kit that, whereas this one you can, and you get that Werboy. Next to a Battle Wagon, they've had a price increase. They are £65 now, so this is you know, £13.50 more. So the Kill Rig is £13.50 more, but is it bigger? I mean, it is wider, it is thicker, and it is taller. You know, even with this extra sort of thing on the top, I mean, sometimes you don't even have one of those. So it is bigger than a Battle Wagon or Gun Wagon, and so I'd say it's their kind of version of it. You know, the Beast Snaggers. They both look really cool though. And the final size comparisons will just be with some sort of regular size Orks. So there's a Beast Snagger. You kind of get the impression of how big it is compared to them because they're on it already. The old Ork boys, you know, if you take that away, you could probably fit a few of them at the front, or even Gazgul. And then the new Ork boys there. I always like comparing these models with my knob. So here it is. You know, that would look quite cool with him charging on the front. And the Warboss in Mega Armor. Look how chunky he is. Even he is dwarfed by the colossal Trampler Squig, but not by much. And then the Imperium comparisons. I'd love to give you more size comparisons with Space Marine tanks and dreadnoughts and things, but I'm well aware of how long these videos are already. So here are some of the Imperium models, some Space Marines, and there's a Space Marine there, and a Primaris and Slimarbo. As you can see, I mean, Redemptor Dreadnought's probably still going to be smaller than this model, so are the big Repulsors and Impulsors. I don't think really Space Marines have anything that can match the size of this, other than, you know, if you were going to take like an Imperial Knight, which I can show you here. So hopefully that helps. I mean, not being pedantic, but technically the Kill Rig is taller than the Imperial Knight. And it's on the same size base. I want to show you it next to a Land Raider, a Grey Knight's Land Raider as well. There it is. So, you know, this Kill Rig, I wasn't expecting it to be quite this big, but Land Raider is still a very, very big kit, but just it's nowhere near as tall. Hope all those size comparisons have helped. Really tried on that one. As you can see, the Kill Rig barely fits on the turntable for this part of the review, which will be the rules. So I will review the model in front of you, which is the Kill Rig, and I will make some comparisons, of course, with the Hunter Rig. The review for the Werboy will be separate because I'm aware of how long this video has been going on already. So you'll find the Kill Rig in the heavy support section at a power points cost of a 10 and a points cost of 190. The Hunter Rig, in comparison, is a bit cheaper at a power points cost of only 8, is only 160 points, so you're saving 30 points there. What do you get for these 190 points then? Well, it's one of these units where the number of wounds remaining affects its stat line. It starts off with 16 wounds, which is the exact same number as a gun wagon. When it has 9 or more wounds remaining, its movement speed is 12 inches, weapon skills 3+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 6, toughness 8, 6 attacks, leadership 7, and a save of 3+. When it's got between 5 and 8 wounds, its movement drops to 9 inches, its strength drops to 5, and its attacks drop to d6. Between 1 and 4 wounds, its movement drops by half to 6 inches, its strength drops to 4, and its number of attacks drops to d3. That is exactly the same stat line as the Hunter Rig. So you're not getting anything less in that stat line for your points. But compared to a gun wagon, they're the same speed. The Kill Rig has a better weapon skill, so you can actually use it in close combat. So it's usable in close combat. It's got the same number of attacks. It's just that the gun wagon strength is better. It's 8 instead of 6. And they both have the same leadership and save. A Kill Rig is equipped with an heavy lobber, a sticker cannon, a word tower, butcher boys, savage horns and hooves, saw blades. So quite a lot of weapons on this thing for you to try and remember. The heavy lobber is probably one of the reasons why you pick him up, because it's a 48-inch range weapon. It's heavy d6, it's strength 6, AP -1, damage 2. It's a blast weapon, and the weapon can target units that are not visible to the bearer. The only downside for this heavy lobber is, of course, its random number of shots, and then you couple that with that ballistic skill 5. You haven't got a massive chance of hitting stuff. The sticker cannon, unfortunately, it's only a 12-inch range. It's a heavy one, strength 8, AP -2, damage 3, and each time a bearer makes an attack with this weapon, if that attack targets a monster or vehicle, you can re-roll the hit roll. But of course, because the unit has the keyword Beast Snagger, the Beast Snagger ability means that you're going to be adding to the hit roll anyway. But it's still quite a short range. I mean, effective range is 24 inches for that one. The word tower, which is the thing that differentiates it from the Hunter Rig. It's a 24-inch range, assault 1, strength 9, AP -3, damage d6. Each time this weapon is selected to shoot with, if the bearer successfully manifested any psychic powers this turn, change this weapon's type to assault d3. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, that attack automatically hits the target. That's fantastic. So not only does the attack automatically hit, if you're using the psychic powers and they're successful, you're going to get 3 shots with it. It's a nice, I'd say almost like a las cannon, an assault 3 las cannon. It's assault d3 las cannon if you pull off the psychic powers. Butcher boys, so they're the guys on the side. They are a melee weapon, I guess. Strength 5, AP -1, damage 1, and each time the bearer fights, it makes 4 additional attacks with this weapon, and no more than 4 attacks can be made with this weapon. So you're getting nice 4 attacks there at the strength 5. Savage horns and hooves. So this is a melee weapon, and it pluses the strength by 1. So now you're at strength 7, which still isn't as good as the gun wagon ramming you. But the AP is -2, and you are getting damage 3. Each time the bearer fights, it makes 4 additional attacks with this weapon, and no more than 4 attacks can be made with this weapon. Now, I would say this is a strong contender to the Death Roller and the Wrecking Ball. Yes, the Death Roller adds 1 to the strength, so that's strength 9, but you are getting 4 extra attacks with this, with the horns and hooves. And although the Death Roller has a weapon skill of 2+, having this Kill Rig with a 3+ isn't too bad either. Then you've also got Saw Blades, which is a strength +2, so that's your strength 8, AP -2, and damage 2. So this thing is built for close combat. Yes, it can dish out some ranged attacks, but you want to be getting this thing in close combat, like most of the Orc units. Abilities: Beast Snagger, here we go, Ramshackle, War. Open topped. In your shooting phase, units embarked with this transport can be selected to shoot with, measure distances and draw line of sight from any point on this transport when doing so. If this transport made a normal move, advanced or fell back this turn, embarked units are considered to have done the same. While this transport is within engagement range of an enemy unit, of any enemy units, embarked units cannot shoot except with pistols. Snagged. Each time this model makes an attack with its sticker cannon, if an enemy non-titanic vehicle or monster loses any wounds as a result of that attack, roll 1d6. On a 4+, that enemy cannot move, finish any type of move more than 12 inches from this model unit, until the start of your next turn. So I think there was a bit of controversy with this snagged rule, because what was happening is people were using the sticker cannon to basically immobilize Thunderhawks, well, maybe not Thunderhawks, but flyers, so that they can't move any more than 12 inches. And of course, if you don't move those 20 inches or whatever with your flyer, then you're going to crash. so people were using this sticker cannon to just pull flyers out of the air, which is a really cool orky thing to do, and I'm going to try it. The final ability is Explodes. When this transport is destroyed, roll 1d6 before any embarked models disembark and before removing it from play. On a 6 it explodes, and each unit within 3 inches suffers d3 mortal wounds. This model has a transport capacity of 10 clan Beastsnagger infantry models. So people always go on about, oh, Primaris can't go in Land Raiders and things, and I'm one of those people, because I think it's crazy how Primaris can't go in Land Raiders but they can in Repulsors. But this is actually worse, because the Snagger Boys and Ork Boys are pretty much the same size. Snagger Boys are a tiny little bit bigger, just a tiny bit bigger. But this is worse, and there's not a huge controversy over only Snagger Boys being able to ride in these kill rigs and hunter rigs, and I think there should be. This model can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers in your psychic phase and attempt to deny 1 psychic power in your opponent's psychic phase. It knows Smite and 2 psychic powers from the Beasthead discipline. I will be going through the Beasthead discipline in the Werboys separate review. Keywords: Orks, Vehicle, Transport, Character, Psyker, Beastsnagger, Weird Boy, Kill Rig. So there you go. That is the Kill Rig. How does it compare to the Hunter Rig? I think I've mentioned a couple of comparisons throughout this review, but the main differences is that the Kill Rig has the Whir Tower, the Hunter Rig does not. The stat lines are exactly the same. The Hunter Rig doesn't have anything extra. It's a stripped down version of the Kill Rig, but because it doesn't have the Whir Tower, it has that extra room up front. It means that it can transport 15 Beastsnagger infantry models, which might be worth it if you do indeed have a unit of 15 Beastsnagger boys. And of course it's cheaper in terms of points. You know, 8 points there means it's the same power points cost as a battle wagon, but a battle wagon can transport 20 flash gits unless it's equipped with a kill cannon, and it would be double the power points cost of a truck, but a truck can only carry 12 models. A truck has a worse save at 4+, a worse toughness, many less wounds, fewer attacks, doesn't really have hardly any weapons, but it is cheap and cheerful. That's another thing I wanted to mention. With these kill rigs and hunter rigs, they do have their save of 3+, which is very useful for orcs. That's my review of the kill rig. What do you guys think of the model? I mean, at first glance, when I saw that price at £78.50, I was very judgmental and I thought, wow, you know, £78.50 for one model. But on reflection, after building it over more than 2-3 hour live streams, it's grown on me. And I don't think they could have done anything more to the kit. Most of the parts on there are swappable. You can very easily turn it from the kill rig to the hunter rig, and it even includes a separate HQ choice, which, if they do release him separately, may still cost you £23. So if you're looking at it from that point of view, as the set being about 55, I think it's quite good. But what do you guys think? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. For Gork and Mork.